So, the Oculus Quest 2, it's been out for about a month now, and I think it's time to give it a review. So in this video, I'm going to break it down into sections for you. The first one, introduction and a brief history of the Quest. 2. Specs. 3. Cost. 4. Must-buy accessories. 5. My personal experience. And number 6. Should you buy the Quest 2? The Oculus Quest 2 is the successor to the Quest 1, which was originally released in May 2019 and sold more than 1.7 million units, only being beaten by the dominance of Sony's PSVR and their huge player base. With that success in mind, Oculus and Facebook didn't waste time in creating the Quest 2 with even better specs to outperform the Quest 1 and launch VR back on the map. So the specs of the Quest 2, they're running the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 chip, which is significantly faster than the original one from the Quest 1, 6GB of RAM, either 64GB versions available at $300 or the 256GB version of $400. We'll get into the costs a little bit later. It has a fast switch LCD screen, which is 1832 by 1920 per eye, so basically 2K per eye resolution. It has a manual IPD, which is interpupillary distance, with 3 set options: 58mm, 63mm, and 68mm. It launches with the 72Hz refresh rate option, later to support the 90Hz capability it has. You have 2 to 3 hours of battery life. It's also completely wireless and still capable of playing all PC and Steam VR games via the link cable and a wireless option, which we'll also get into later on. So going back round to costs, there's 2 versions available from launch. The 64GB version, which launches at $299 US. You also have the option of 256GB for $399. That's quite a significant difference to any other VR headset in the market currently. Bearing in mind the original Quest, which also did a 64GB version, was released at $399 US, with only a 128GB upgrade, which costs $499. So the standard strap that the Quest 2 comes with, it's not great. They needed to save money somewhere, and I really feel this is probably one of the main areas they did that. Being such a loose, stretchy strap, it makes the headset feel very unbalanced and front heavy. It's not very comfortable, and it makes it kind of droop and uncomfortable on your face. It almost feels like you're getting dragged down. However, Oculus have released 2 upgrade options from launch. The first option, which is the one I have, is the Elite strap from Oculus. So this one is a lot more sturdy, it's a lot more rigid. It's not this flexi strap that you get on the one that comes with the Quest. Instead, it's connected the same way. It's plastic. You have an adjustable turn here, which actually tightens it and loosens it up, so you can easily adjust it for anybody's head. And it still has the standard strap Velcro at the top. So this one is probably the best entry-level upgrade to get. The second option they did with these on release is exactly the same, but with a battery pack in the back. So we'll have a battery pack here. It has a cable with a little kind of hook here, and you can plug it straight into the USB-C connection here, which they claim can give you double the battery life from the original. So it's in about 2 to 3 hours. I'm guessing about 5 to 6 hours. Now cost wise for the 2, the standard Elite strap, which is the one I've got, is I believe $50 US. It was £50, and they seem to be pretty much the same for US. The Elite strap with the battery option is $119. Another must-buy accessory, which I'm still yet to do myself, but am in the market to look for one, is basically a new facial interface. So the one that comes with the Quest 2 is like this this soft foam. It's very nice and padded. It feels great on your face. But when you're doing either long sessions or exercise or kind of basically high tempo stuff, you tend to sweat, and this pretty much soaks the sweat in, and it makes it a really little bit uncomfortable after a small amount of time. Not only that, if you've got other people using it and you're sharing it with friends or family, it's not easy to kind of wipe down and clean, and it's a little bit unhygienic in those manners. However, Oculus did team up with a company called VR Cover. I will leave a link to their website in the description. VR Cover offer several different options, with the main one being a PU leather material. This means with the leather material, it's a lot easier to clean, it's more squishy, more comfortable on your face, and it also comes like a better nose guard. Because this one here, it brings a lot of light lead. I really found this when I was using it. At the bottom here, you could really, where the nose section is, you would find a lot of light leaking out from the bottom of the screen while you're in VR. It doesn't make it as immersive as it could. So with the VR cover that you can get from VR Cover, and probably many other third parties, once they start 3D printing and making their own versions, they're going to be a lot better than the standard one you get with the Quest. But remember, this is why the Quest 2 is so cheap. So I would highly recommend, if you're going to buy the Quest 2, the first two things you'd look at is the strap and maybe a new interface face cover here. Now the next accessory, which isn't that important to many, but I found it very, very useful dependent on the games that you play. So with the likes of, I don't know, Beat Saber and also Phasmophobia, you seem to move your hands around a lot. You can pick things up, throw things in Phasmophobia. Beat Saber, you're swinging around quite a lot. The problem is, and this comes in with the immersiveness as well, is you always got to keep hold of the controller. Whether you're throwing something, whatever you're doing, you've got to grip the controller. Now, you can get these, again, very third party. Oculus do not offer an option for this. You can get something like this, which is like a knuckle strap. So the purpose of this is you can hook it around, bring this in, and create a knuckle strap where you can literally let go of the controller, so you can throw things, you can wave it around, and you're not going to drop the controller. Obviously you can tighten up a lot more than I have, but it makes it a lot more immersive to what you're playing. These I got from Amazon. I will leave the link in the description. They cost me about £10 British, and although they show that they're meant to go around here, I didn't really pay much attention when I bought them, and I believe they were better used for the Quest 1. However, you can wrap this rubber ring around the top of the Quest controller and then hook that underneath the battery case like I have here, and it still works perfectly well without getting in the way of any of the buttons or any of the triggers. So what about my personal experience with the Quest 2? I left something out at the beginning that's actually very important information. This right here, it's my first ever VR headset. I'd never owned one before. However, I've always wanted to. The reason, and the main reason, the big reason why I haven't previously, is cost. So as we mentioned earlier, the original Quest, which was probably still classed as an entry-level headset by all means, was originally starting at $399 US. Anything above that, you've got looking like the HTC Vive, and then you've got the beast of the beasts, which is the Valve Index, which currently retails around 1,000 with the base stations and the controllers. So accessibility financially wasn't really a thing for me to get into the VR scene because of this. Not only that, taking the Quest 1 out of the picture and you're looking at just PC VR headsets, you also need a pretty beefy computer to match it. Although mine probably would, that's because I spent that money on doing that and not buying a headset. So based on that, what made me actually buy this? There was a couple of things. One of them being my sister. She actually got the Quest 1 when it came out, and then the Quest 2 just recently, before I bought mine when it came out. And from what she told me, it kind of pretty much sold it for me. So the mobility side of things, the cost side of things, and the experience that she had with the Quest 2 and the Quest 1 was enough for me to think finally it's time to get into VR, which is why I bought the Quest 2. Now this isn't actually the first time I used VR. A couple of years ago I tried the PS VR that a friend of mine had, and although it has 120 Hz refresh according to the PlayStation specs, I I actually felt sick for 2 days after using that for about an hour. I know it's got a lower screen resolution, so I'm assuming it's to do with that, because obviously this has a higher screen resolution but a lower refresh rate than the PSVR. But I didn't get on well with it at all. I really didn't enjoy it, and it really made me feel quite sick. Now, I do suffer with motion sickness, and even when I bought the Quest 2 and started trialing that, I really had to dial down the content I was watching or experiencing or playing, because I'm still yet to get my VR legs. But something about this is making me pick it up a lot better than what the most sold VR headset ever is of the PSVR. So that leaves a question slightly unanswered, but nonetheless, one of the biggest benefits to me of getting the Quest 2 was the ability to, again, use this wirelessly with the inbuilt Oculus app, and the ability to use SideQuest to sideload things onto it and still use that completely wirelessly. I can also still play PC and Steam VR games. There's two ways of doing this. One, which I'm currently using and familiar with, which is a link cable. So it's a USB-C to either USB-C if you've got that connection on your computer, or a USB-A. Make sure it's USB 3 at least. It has to be a USB 3 upwards. So once you've done that, you can link it into your computer. You can literally see a virtual desktop of your screens. You can use Steam VR. You can use pretty much any VR game, even on Origin. I was playing Star Wars Squadrons last week. So it turns this into a full PC VR experience, as well as then disconnecting it and going into any other room or anywhere else you want to play. Not only that, but there is a way to play Steam and PC VR games wirelessly. There's an app, so it's going to cost you, but it's going to cost you 15 British pounds, which I assume will probably be 15 US dollars. I could do another video and explain a little bit more detail of exactly how to do it, because I'll be doing this for mine today. But you basically purchase the app, you make sure this is on wireless, you could be able to connect to the computer, and then you can play and experience your PC VR anywhere in the house, as long as you're on the same internet, but also it's got to be a solid internet, at least 5 GHz, and probably Wi-Fi 6 is preferable. Okay, so this isn't all positives. There have been a few issues I've had with the Quest 2 within the last month of owning it. I briefly touched on these issues previously, but I'll just go into a bit more detail now. The first one mainly being the original strap. This ruined the initial experience of VR to me. The reason for that is, although this is, I believe, probably one of the lightest VR headsets out there. I know it's lighter than the Quest 1, and it's significantly lighter than the Index or the HTC Vive. So it's still quite heavy on the front. This is where all the components are. This is where all the magic happens. And when you've got, if you can imagine a head strap just like this, but all round, that sags really heavily on your face. It pulls your face down, it feels unbalanced, and when you're moving around, it moves around with you. It's not a great experience. So I would really highly recommend getting either the Elite strap or waiting for some third-party items to come out that are easily moddable for the Quest 2, because the original head strap, it's just a big no-no. The second issue, which we touched bases on earlier, is the VR cover. So although this one's not too bad, it's quite nice and soft, I think long-term it's going to need replacing. There's so much light leak that comes out the bottom, it's a little bit disappointing. It does take away the immersiveness, so I'd probably recommend looking at the VR cover or maybe some third-party ones again once they start coming out for the Quest 2. Okay, so the third issue, and I haven't really seen many people report this, so this may be quite limited, is lens fog. I seem to get this quite often, and normally within seconds of me putting the headset on, is I find that it's quite blurry on the screen. Once I take them off, I realise that the lens need cleaning and it's all fogged up. I'm putting this down again to the VR cover because you've got so much air coming through here. I think if you're breathing through your nose, this is probably where the fog's coming, so probably related to the VR cover situation with issue 2. So if you upgrade the VR cover, you probably eliminate both issues there. Okay, so the fourth and final issue, and you're probably expecting it if you know anything about the Quest, and probably wondering why I haven't said anything about it yet. Facebook. So Oculus is owned by Facebook, and in order to use the Quest 2, you must have a Facebook account. Now, this doesn't bother me. I've had a Facebook account for many years. It's fine. I log in. It's not a problem. I haven't had any issues with accounts or being deleted or being banned or anything as such, but I know it's a big issue for a lot of people out there. So, I would say before you purchase the Quest 2, think long and hard about that decision you're making. If you are unhappy with it, you've got two options. One, you buy a different headset. Two, you wait until, I don't know, someone jailbreaks it. There was a rumor that someone did that recently, but it has been proven wrong and false. But those are your two options. You must have a Facebook account, and it's got to be valid, it's got to be real, and it can be checked by them. Even then, I've seen rumors of people being banned by Facebook with no way to get that back. So be very careful with your decision on buying the Quest based on the Facebook information. Okay, so the final section of the video. Should you buy? If you're an experienced VR user, the short answer is yes. If you're new to VR and this is your first time going into that area, the short answer is still yes. Let me tell you why quickly. Even if you've spent hundreds or thousands of hours in VR over the years, there's something special about the Quest 2. The ability to play completely wirelessly anywhere, at any time, is astonishing. It is amazing. Not only are you getting that wireless experience with the Oculus Store, but with a cable or with virtual desktop, you can experience PC or VR games on the Quest 2 for $300. For new users, this is a fantastic entry-level headset that's currently unrivaled in the market, really. You know, within 4 weeks, I've had friends and family all try it from the comfort of our sofa. Had many laughs and wow moments. It's just something you can't do with the likes of the Index or the Vive. Now, I will say this. I would not value this at $299. I wouldn't. I would say this is going to cost you at least $350 minimum, because you just can't use the standard strap. I cannot stress this enough. I'll keep going over and over and over about it. Some of you might not have an issue with it. I guarantee, even those ones that say they haven't had an issue, if they were to try one with the strap, like the Elite 2, they will say their experience just got better. So that's pretty much it for this video. I really hope that answers some of your questions about the Quest 2. This is an experience and a review from someone that's going into the VR world for the first time in their first purchase with the Quest 2. If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you don't, thumbs down, but let me know in the comments why. Subscribe, hit the notification bell, because that way you'll be notified every time I drop a new video. I also have another video coming out related to the Quest 2 very soon, and you won't want to miss it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you.